Okay. Now, see, we look at the issue on tax relief. Now, you see, first of all, you want to claim tax relief. The basic condition is you must be a resident individual. Fair enough? Okay. So to claim tax relief, you got to be resident individual. Alright? Now, but when it comes to the rules of claiming relief, there's this thing that you got to remember. See, some of those expenditure must be the taxpayer himself incurred and claimed. Understand? The taxpayer himself incurred and claimed. So, for example, if let's say the taxpayer is married, so the taxpayer wife go and spend the money, can the taxpayer claim? Now you can't when you come to this thing. Okay. Now what is it that you incur and you claim yourself? Okay. One is your personal deduction. Okay. Personal deduction 9,000. Now obviously you claim yourself. Okay. So the 9,000 you incur, you claim. Now besides the personal deduction, what else that you claim that you must incur and you claim yourself? Now, medical expense for parent. Maximum 5K. Okay? Alright? Medical expense for parent. Now you can incur anything on medical for parent and you can claim up to 5,000, but must be your own parent. So you pay for your own parent, you claim. Let's say your wife pay for her own parent. If your wife got tax, then your wife also can claim. Understand? Okay? So you separate lah. Okay? Now, another one is for your own study. Maximum 5,000 also. Okay? Now what falls into study must be depending on the courses, right? So anything up to degree, you must look at the courses. Alright? Up to degree, you must look at the courses. And if it's above degree, it can be any courses. Follow? So if you study a master's in business admin, okay, no problem, you can claim relief. If you do a degree in business admin, you have no relief because business admin is not one of those so-called area or sector that you can claim relief. So you must look at things like accounting, Islamic financing, okay, then technical, vocational, so you must look at what is it. Follow? Now, okay, so this is one. The relief that you spend, you claim. That's all only. Now, but there are some other relief that your wife incur or the husband incur and you also can claim. But only on the condition that these are incurred by the spouse but deemed incurred by the taxpayer. Now when will it be deemed incurred by taxpayer? This is when the spouse either has no total income or the spouse has elected for combined assessment. Okay, it's either the spouse is no total income or the spouse is elected for combined assessment. Alright? Okay, I'm going to use this illustration here and show to you What do you mean by those that you incur and you claim? And those that we can deem incur and then we claim. Okay? Now, we look at Mr. and Mrs. Khoo. Okay, Mr. and Mrs. Khoo are husband-wife living together in Malaysia. Mr. Khoo is suffering serious disease, while Mrs. Khoo is physically disabled. The detail relating to income expenditure for both Mr. and Mrs. Khoo. Now they've given us the business statutory income, employment statutory income, rental dividend, unabsorbed business loss brought forward, medical expense for serious disease. Now you see who spent. Mr. Khoo pay 3,000, Mrs. Khoo pay 6,000. Alright. Medical checkup. Mr. Khoo pay 700 for his own checkup. Now medical expense for Mr. Khoo's parent. That Mr. Khoo pay 2,006. The wife also pay 1,008. Wheelchair for Mrs. Khoo. So Mrs. Khoo buy a wheelchair for herself. Now wheelchair for Mrs. Khoo's mother, whom is disabled, 800. EPF 7,002. Life insurance for Mrs. Khoo. A course fee to pursue master's degree in law. Now we ask you to show what's the tax liability for Mr. and Mrs. Khoo, assuming A, they are both assessed separately, B, Mr. Khoo has elected for combined assessment. Now if Mr. Khoo elected to combine, that means you will tax under Mrs. Khoo, right? Whereas when Mrs. Khoo elected, you tax under Mr. Khoo. Okay? Alright, so let's give it a try. Now we're going to show 4 parts. Okay. Mr. Khoo and Mrs. Khoo. That's separate assessment. Okay. B, Mr. Khoo elected. If Mr. Khoo elected, then you will do your tax under Mrs. Khoo. Mr. Khoo elected. Then C, Mrs. Khoo elected. So you tax under Mr. Khoo. Okay. First of all, 4A, the business statutory income is 160. And you claim what? Unabsorbed business loss brought forward. Amount is 5,000. Okay. And then we have 4B, employment. Mrs. Khoo has 60,000. Now Mrs. Khoo has no business income, so you will not be able to claim the unabsorbed business loss. Alright? Okay. 4C dividend nil. 4D rental, which is 20. Now, so this would be the aggregate income. Now there's no current year loss, there's no donation, so this will be the total income as well. 175, 80, 80, 175. Now, if you go for combined assessment, how do you combine? Combine by taking the total income of you and the total income of your spouse, you add them together. So that's why the way you combine is you must take the total income plus the total income. So in this case, the total income is 80 and 175. The total income of your spouse will be 175 and 80 respectively. Okay? So the aggregate total income is 255. Okay. Now, so you're gonna start claiming relief, right? Now, every individual is given a personal deduction 9,000. Who is disabled? Husband or wife? Or both? Wife. Is the husband disabled? No, the husband is sick only, okay? It's not disabled. So disabled, you get a disabled self-relief, which you get extra 6,000. So if your combined assessment is assessed under the wife, then the wife will get the 6,000. So the 6,000 extra. Okay. Now you notice that if you separate, you just get 9,000. You combine also, you get 9,000. You don't get double. That's because when you combine, the other part of the relief is for your spouse. It's not that you have two persons, you have another spouse. So the difference is we give you a spouse relief. Okay, so the spouse relief is additional 3,000. Now this 3,000 is the relief for Mr. Khoo, whereas this 3,000 here is relief for Mrs. Khoo. Mrs. Khoo is what? Disabled, right? And because Mrs. Khoo is disabled, you can claim an extra relief for disabled spouse. How much is that? An extra 3,500. Okay, these are all the standard relief that you claim for yourself and your spouse. Okay, so now we're going to come in and look at the rest of the relief here. Okay, number 1. Medical expense for serious disease. Okay, medical expense for serious disease. Now this medical expense for serious disease you incur for who? For Mr. Koo, right? Okay. If you want to claim, you can incur for yourself, your spouse, your child. Correct or not? Yourself, your spouse, your child. Parent cannot? Cannot. Parent, we have the other one. So for serious disease, it's only for yourself, your spouse, your child. Okay? 3%. So Mr. Koo pay for his own self, correct or not? So he can claim, right? Okay, he can claim 3,000. Okay, he can claim 3,000. Mrs. Koo pays 6,000 for Mr. Koo, right? Can claim or not? Can claim or not? You can only claim medical expense for serious disease if you incur it for who? Yourself, your spouse, your children. So Mrs. Koo pay for the husband. Can claim or not? Can. It's husband, man. So Mrs. Koo also can claim 5,000. Okay. Medical checkup. Medical checkup you can claim together with medical expense for serious disease. The limit is 5K, but the checkup alone, the limit is 500. So maximum is 500. Alright. So if you go under combined assessment, now there's only 3 things that you have to incur yourself on. These 3. The rest all we can add together. Mrs. Koo now will show under her tax com, but Mrs. Koo alone already got 5,000. So Mrs. Koo claim back the same 5,000. Okay? Can Mrs. Koo claim this medical checkup or not? Can. You can take whatever amount that the husband pay and then you claim. But right now you can't because the limit is already 5K. So nil. If on top is not 5K, obviously you can claim. No issue. Okay? Alright. If the assessment is under Mr. Koo, that the wife elected to combine. Now you see, Mr. Koo himself spent 3,000, but the wife spent 5,000, right? Whatever the wife spent is now deemed incurred by you, right? So you can join them together, right? So in that case, you get 5K because you're going to add them together. And obviously, once you add these together, you've utilized all the limit for your medical expense. So the checkup, you can't claim already. Okay? Because these 2 things is maximum 5K. That's the reason. Alright, now besides medical checkup for Mr. Koo, okay, medical expenses for Mr. Koo's parent. Now this one for your own parent, you spend yourself. So Mr. Koo spent 2,006 for his own parent. Mrs. Koo also spent 1,008 for Mr. Koo parent, but there's not her parent. She cannot claim. So when you combine, Mrs. Koo never spent for her parent, and whatever that the husband spent, you cannot add, because this is something that you spend yourself, you claim yourself. So there's no relief under Mrs. Koo. But under Mr. Koo, same thing. You claim back 2006. Okay. Now they tell us that there's supporting equipment. Now supporting equipment is for who? Yourself, your spouse, your children, also your parent. You can buy for any of the four persons. Okay, yourself, your spouse, your parent, your children. Okay. Mr. Koo buy a wheelchair for who? Mrs. Koo mother. Is Mrs. Koo mother his parent? No. It's the mother-in-law, right? So that's not eligible for relief in the first place. So you cannot claim. Mrs. Koo buy a wheelchair for herself, right? Okay. So she can claim. So if let's say I tell you Mr. Koo also buy a wheelchair for Mrs. Koo, then he also can claim. They are buying it for wife, you know. You can do it for self, spouse, children, and parent. Okay, now in B we combine it. Now of course Mrs. Koo will claim back the 1,000. And again, if the combined assessment is under Mr. Koo, then whatever the wife spent is deemed incurred by the husband. So you can add it together. So the 1,000 can also be claimed by the husband. Okay, EPF and life insurance. Husband has 2,000. The wife maximum 6. So the wife maximum 6. So under this, if you combine, the husband will also add whatever amount that the wife claimed. So the 6. Under where? How can? Who spend? Oh, husband pay. The wife how can claim? You never pay. You must pay yourself. You cannot? Cannot. Alright? Now, the last one is the course fee. Now, Mr. Koo paid 12,000, so we claim 5,000. Now, even you combine, the wife cannot claim this because this is something that you spend and you claim yourself. So, Mr. Koo claims his own course fee. Okay? Alright, now, so with that, we work out the chargeable income for who? Mr. Koo parent. Cannot. Cannot. You cannot deem because in the first place she is not your mother. You must buy for your mother. After you combine, your wife claim under you can. Okay? So in this case, Mr. Koo is buying for his mother-in-law. So the person is not right already. Can you see or not? So cannot. So you must have the right person. You combine also cannot. You combine, you still not buy for your mother. You must buy for your own mother, your parent, your child, your spouse, your children. So you must buy for all these things. So this is not right already. Can you see or not? Okay? $1,529. 53. 225. 2199. Okay. Now the tax is okay lah. I just leave it. You work it out yourself lah. Okay. All right. Now the next thing that very important is relief for child. Okay. Now we're gonna see issue to do with relief for child. Now, if you want to claim child relief, of course the requirement is the person must be your child. Okay. So first, it must either be legitimate, adopted, or a stepchild. Okay. Number two, the child must be unmarried. Okay. The child must be unmarried. Number three, the child's total income must not exceed the value of the relief. Okay. Child's total income must not exceed value of the relief. So if you have a child that your child is working and your child has an income, the income cannot exceed the value of the relief that the parents is going to claim. Okay. Now, so to claim the relief, we must look at the condition of your child. If the child is disabled and child that is not disabled. Okay. A child that is disabled we divide into two. Any age you get 5,000 relief. Any age. Okay. Now, if the child is 18 and above and is doing tertiary study anywhere, that means Malaysia or outside Malaysia also can, right? Anywhere. Okay. Now, if the child is 18 and above and the child is doing tertiary study and the child is disabled, now then you get a relief 11,000. Okay, so the value of relief is 11,000. Okay. For child that they are not disabled, that's below 18, your relief is 1,000. Okay, the child that's not disabled below 18 is 1,000. If the child is 18 and above plus doing tertiary study, but if we say tertiary study, you must see carefully. Are you studying locally or overseas? See, if you do tertiary study in Malaysia, we straight away give you 6,000. We don't care what courses that you're doing, 6,000. But if you're doing it in overseas, then we must look at the qualification. Now, anything that is below a degree level and degree and above. Anything below a degree, you get only 1,000. And anything that's degree and above, will give you 6,000. So that's why child relief can be a bit more complicated because you have many possibilities. Okay. Now the table on top, okay, I've given you eight different cases involving children. Now at the side there, you have an empty space. You fill in how much is the value of relief that you can claim. Now, 24-year-old and not married and is physically disabled. The relief is 5,000, right? Now, 19-year-old unmarried and is doing a diploma in Singapore. How much? 1,000. 20-year-old unmarried and is doing a degree now in Singapore. 6,000. 20-year-old unmarried doing a degree course in Singapore, working part-time with a total income of 5,000 for the whole year. 6,000. Okay, the relief is 6,000. Your income does not exceed 6, so no issue. 17-year-old unmarried and doing a diploma in Sarawak, 6,000 as well. Study local, you don't look at the cost. 21-year-old got married on 19 July 2013 and doing a degree course. Sorry.
17 years old, but 18 and above.
Sorry. This is the age. Testing your. Wow, very good. Okay. Now, 21-year-old got married on 19 July 2013, doing a degree course in Australia. Now, just got married in 2013. So that means before that, still not married, right? That's why when it comes to cases that you've got married in that year, you still can claim. Only the following year you can't. The same issue happened to death. That's why the child died in that year. The year the child died, you still can claim relief. You know? So in this case, for Y13, the relief is 6,000. Y14, no relief already. Alright, now 20-year-old unmarried, physically disabled and doing a diploma in Arab, 11,000. Okay, once it's disabled, tertiary, we don't look at the cost. 21-year-old and advanced diploma in Johor, parents have divorced and both of them would like to claim on the same child. Now, if you have cases that parents, they have divorced, then you can have two persons claiming on the same child. So what you do is you divide relief into half, right? Because you know. So if the child is studying in Johor, 21-year-old doing tertiary, the value of relief is 6,000. So each parent will get 3,000. Okay? Right, so there's the issues on relief over here. We're going to see one last example that deals with relief. Just turn to page 333. Okay. Right. Encik Zakaria has an aggregate income of 120,000 for YA 2013. Now, Encik Zakaria incurred the following. Now, they tell you cost fee for his DBA, EPF contribution, life insurance for Zakaria, life insurance for Kyrie, his son, medical insurance for his wife, medical insurance for his son, hearing aid for Zakaria's father with hearing loss, sports equipment, sportswear, contribution to private retirement scheme, medical checkup expenses for Sadia and Kyrie, that means the wife and the son, 400 each. Medical expenses in government hospital for Kyrie on serious disease, deferred annuity premium, cost of medical equipment donated to approved healthcare, medical expenses for parent received in Malaysia. The amount is 25. Okay, margin run a bit. Now, Puan Sadia is physically disabled. She has only a business and the business has an adjusted loss of 20,000. Okay, when we read something like that, what does it mean? She only has one business, that means that's the only income she has, and the business is making a loss, meaning she will have no total income. Agree? Okay, she'll have no total income. And when you have no total income, then it will be a combined assessment that the wife will join the husband. See, I don't need to tell you because this is automatic. You look at it, you should know. Okay, that the moment you see that the spouse has no total income, you combine. Now, that's why earlier we mentioned to you when we claim relief, we tell you that you will have a case where whatever spouse incur, the taxpayer can claim. That's when you have no total income or you elected for combined assessment. Okay. Now, so this is a case that there's no total income. Okay, Sadia bought a wheelchair for herself, education insurance for Kyrie, and medical expenses for her parent. Now, Kyrie is 14-year-old, studying in a private school. Okay. Now, work out how much tax that Zachariah needs to pay. I put a note here, wife has no total income, so you compute like wife joins the husband. Okay, that's what you do. Compute as though like the wife joined the husband. Okay, what income that we have here? They mention the aggregate income. Is 120,000. Now this is aggregate, right? So what must you do first? From aggregate to get total, you got to claim what? Huh? What do you claim? Business loss, but there's no business loss. Some more? Donation. Got donation, huh? Any donation? Alright, medical equipment donated to approved healthcare. Okay. So we minus the medical equipment donated to approved healthcare. How much? 20. Correct not? So the most you claim is 20. Okay, this is my total income. Okay, now you don't need to show total income of the wife because the wife got no total income. Okay, just show until total income. Now we're going to start claiming the relief. Okay, so personal deduction is 9,000. Now you see, I'm going to claim wife relief now. See that? Okay, we're going to claim wife relief. Why? Because you're working as though the wife joined with the husband. So when you claim wife relief, the relief is 3,000, but the wife is disabled. So disabled wife will give you extra 3,500. Okay. Okay. The course fee for the DBA maximum 5,000. Okay, followed by EPF, right? Okay, EPF and the life insurance. So how much EPF? 2,004. Life insurance 2,005, right? Okay. How about one more life insurance? 2,008. Can add up? Can I claim as well? Why not? Because the life insurance is only for yourself or for your spouse. Just like earlier I tell you, the supporting equipment is for parents. So you must buy for parents. So you either buy the life insurance for yourself or for your spouse. You're buying for who? The son. Son is not qualified. Okay, so you're not? So, new. Okay, son is not eligible. So all in is 4,009. 什么 Mr. Lau. Mr. Lau. My name is Mr. Lau. 不是 Mr. Lo. Okay. Diploma, oh. How come I see is DBA one? I say sorry. 老花了. I keep thinking it's doctorate. I say diploma. Tak boleh. Apology. Sorry. New. Business admin you can't claim because it's not one of those courses. Okay, unless it's a master's level. And sorry, I keep thinking it's doctorate. Alright. Okay. So after EPF life insurance, we have medical insurance. Now medical insurance you claim together with which insurance? Education, right? Correct? Medical and education insurance. Okay, medical insurance for Sadia can claim or not? For the wife, yes or no? Yes. For the son? Yes. Okay, it can be for yourself, your spouse, your children. Okay. See, the wife also buy education insurance, right? See or not? The wife buy education insurance. And the wife buy for son, correct or not? Now, when the wife buy for son, then you qualify idea. But of course, now the wife got no total income, so the relief will be claimed by the husband. Understand? Okay? Because you still buy for the son, so it's still eligible. So it will be claimed by the husband. So you're going to add the 2,000 together, which obviously in this case you reach maximum 3K. Okay, hearing aid. What is hearing aid? Supporting equipment. Fair enough? So we're looking at supporting equipment. Okay, the Zachariah buy a supporting equipment for his father. So father is parent, right? Okay, you can claim. So 2,000. Now the wife bought a wheelchair for herself also. Okay, you can buy a supporting equipment for self, spouse, children, parent. So she buy for herself. Okay, also eligible. But because now she has no total income, so whatever she spent is deemed incurred by the husband. So in that case, the 600, you will add it together with the husband's 2,000. So you claim 2,006. Okay, next. Cost of sports equipment. Is sports equipment given really? Sports equipment, how much? 300. Sportswear? No. It's only for sports equipment, not your wear, not your clothing. Alright, must be equipment. So in that case, you can only claim relief for sports equipment. No relief for sportswear. Now maximum is 300, right? This one is only 200. Okay, so that's all you claim, 200. Right. Contribution to private retirement scheme. Now this one you claim with what? Deferred annuity premium. Correct enough? Okay, so the private retirement scheme together with deferred annuity premium maximum how much? 3,000. So the PRS is 26, the deferred annuity is 5,000. You reach the max already. Okay, now we have medical checkup expenses for Sadia and Kyrie. Now earlier I told you already, right? Medical checkup you can claim up to 500, and the medical checkup that you claim is together with medical expenses for serious disease. Now serious disease is only for yourself, your spouse, your children. Now in this case they mentioned that Kyrie went to government hospital for serious disease and you pay 3,600. Okay, so you can claim that. Now, but you're gonna be careful, okay? So for the medical checkup, now it's 400 times 2. So maximum 500. Okay, so no issue, straightforward. Now medical expenses for serious disease. Now this is for yourself, spouse, children. Now this one maximum is 5K. Okay, this one maximum is 5K. Now in this case it's 3,600. So we claim 3,600. But then you must check that these two figures combined is also maximum 5K. Understand? So which means if I have claimed 500 over here, let's say I change the question, okay? Instead of giving you 3,600, if I give you 4,900, then how much do you think? 4,500. They must show in the answer restricted to 4,500 because these two add up is 5,000. Okay. All right. Now that's the medical expenses for serious disease. Okay. Next one is the cost of medical equipment donated, done already. Okay, the medical expenses for Zachariah's parent. Now, why they mention received in Malaysia? Because the condition to claim relief for parents' medical expenses must be what? Your parent must be resident, and it must be received in Malaysia. Not only medical, right? We also have what? Carer expenses, special needs. This is all for parent. Okay, so it's not only medical, it's carer expenses, special needs. Okay, now so in this case, the parent's medical expenses is 2,500. Okay, medical expenses for Zachariah's parent, 2,500. Now, they mention there's medical expenses for Sadia's parent. Now, this one is something that we say you spend yourself, you claim yourself. So even you combine, you cannot deem claim. Okay, so you cannot be deemed incurred. So in this case, the assessment is on Zachariah. So Sadia proportion will not be given relief. Okay, so we've taken all the relief here, right? Except the child relief, okay? So the child relief is 1,000. That's it. Done already. Now, the chargeable income would be $63,002. Okay. Now, take a note. You will have no adjustment for the 20,000 loss. Okay, because this loss is not your loss. This loss is the wife's loss. And when you do combined assessment, you combine using total income. That's why the loss is nothing to do with you. So you don't go and minus the loss here, okay? Then you make a mistake. Okay, so with the chargeable income of 63,002, how much tax that you be paying? So on the first $50,000, 2850. The next 13,002 is 19%. Okay, tax payable. Alright, now see one more issue. See, if you do your tax com that time, anything that the CI does not exceed 35,000, the resident individual get a rebate of 400, correct? Now, remember, if in the tax com they also make a claim for spouse, like wife relief, or if they made a claim for ex-wife called alimony. So if you see that a wife relief or alimony is being claimed, what will happen? The rebate will become 800. You see now? So this rebate times 2 if they also claim spouse relief or relief for the former wife. Okay, spouse relief or relief for the former. Of course, in this case, there's none. Okay, but since we are here, I just want to mention to you how do you claim tax rebate. All right. Okay, so far I covered until your consider chapter 3. Okay, now we finish here. So next catch up, we will focus on employment. So the rest of the example at the back is all on employment. Okay, the first term notes, I passed to uncle to scan for the whole copy. So David, you need, right? So you just go to the store and ask uncle to process that for you. Then later I pass you whichever one that you want. I pass to uncle first. Okay.